You know, they don't even think God's going to sink their Titanic. They feel they have the right to do whatever they want to do with no consequences, bro. Not only do they feel very secure with that silicone on their face and their multiple of identifications they change into, right? But if they didn't feel that way, why would he tell me to call the president, call the cops, call God? And you remember what happened last time you called the cops. Do we need to put you back in the hospital again? Hi, today's July 17th, 2024. I like to document that I've been poisoned again today, severely bad. Also, as soon as my eyes opened up this morning, what I had did last night. I went to sleep last night around I think 10 o'clock p.m. and I woke up this morning. Right, I don't remember exactly what time I woke up this morning, but when I did, the first thing I did was finish what I was doing last night that I had meant to finish, but I fell asleep, which was sending the evidence I had about all fraudulent Joseph Donald Fusilier to Detective Ryan Davis with the Baton Rouge Police Department. He's the one that's over all of the investigations going on with the police that are under investigation. And as soon as I was done watching it, I started talking to God, right, about my situation and what I've been going through, right. Here Joseph comes, bro, rips my, since I'm not allowed to have a door, right, and of course, just conveniently, Michael wasn't here, right, and rips my blankets off, right, okay, and starts, I'm tired of hearing your mouth, right, and I'm sitting here still talking to God in the middle of a prayer, right? I'm tired of hearing your mouth, he says, right? And just goes off on me, right? Just saying whatever he could say that he thought was the most hurtful things he could possibly tell me, right? And then he my toaster oven's right here, and it has a liquid on top of it, soda, right? And he kicks it over, right? And the soda spills all over my electronics, bro, and all over the matter of fact, I'm having a hard time even keeping this tablet charged to make this documentation right now, right? Okay. And so when I went to go unplug it, I got shocked because there was so much soda that had spilled all over the electrical outlet right here that I have everything plugged into as well. Okay. Then he starts telling me how he's going to beat God's ass. He said he's not scared of God, he'll beat God's ass, he told me. Right? Then he says, that's why your father keeps poisoning you. And he's referring to my sperm donor, which is all fraudulent, Michael Del Foot. Okay, who is the reason I'm sick today, because he has poisoned me again today. Remember, I don't know if I've let this be known or not, but the reason that he started poisoning me was because he instructed for me to go lie for him. He told me point blank 10 years ago that if I didn't start lying for him, that all he would have for me is poison around here. And that's all he has for me. And he will not stop. He doesn't even give me a day off of the poison in the last 10 years. So I don't know what to do about Joseph Fusilier. I've asked him to stay away from me. God's asked him to stay away from me. I obviously can't call the police. They're not going to do anything. So I don't know what to do about him. But I'm going to keep making these documentations as these incidents keep happening. And I'm going to keep praying to God because that's all I can do. Alright, thank you. Also, he's stealing from me again. I went to go get my last something because I needed it last night. That was in Michael's closet so that he couldn't steal it, but he still found a way to steal it again. And he will not leave me alone. I finally had to go to the bathroom just while about, I don't know, maybe an hour ago. But I closed the door. He comes to the bathroom making farting sound with his mouth, laughing. And he will not stay away from me. And he will not leave me alone. And since I don't have a door, every 5 seconds he keeps poking his head in my room with all this verbal abuse he has for me. And will not stop. As a matter of fact, I think it was yesterday or the day before, he had a shirt tied around his mouth, and he had a shirt tied around his whole head, and like with just two little eye peepholes right for his eyes. And he goes to Michael with a little baggie with some white stuff in it, right? And he says, "I think I'm gonna need more." And Michael told him, "Well, I think you've had enough," right? And then Joseph said, "Well, I was just going to keep going." He said, "I'm just going to keep going." Meaning, he was going to keep performing his job of tormenting me. So there was no reason for Michael to cut him off. That's what whenever he said that I could pick up, that's what he meant. That's what he was meaning. That he was just going to keep going. Whereas Michael was thinking that he was talking about he was just going to keep going with the stuff. The way I interpreted it is that Michael didn't have to worry because he was here and he was going to keep doing Michael's job for him, so that Michael didn't have to get his hands dirty or look like completely like the bad guy. So there was no need to cut him off now. He was just getting started. Yeah, one last thing I want to say on this documentation here, while it's still fresh on my mind and before I forget, is that it wasn't that long ago when Alice and them hauled ass out of here and Joey went with her, with the transgender, right? His, I guess, mother slash father slash other wife or whatever, because they're all married to each other, right, in some type of way. So, Michael said, "You don't have to worry about Joseph anymore." He said, "He's gone. And I've changed the locks on the door so he can't just get back in." And guess what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He lied again. So what? Because that's what he tells me when he lies to me. He says, "I lied. So what?" As a matter of fact, as soon as Joey had performed his second murder attempt on me, right? He left for a while because he got scared or something, right? And the Bible said that the wicked have divided themselves so that when one asked about the other, they could say, "Well, are they here now?" Right? And that's exactly what he did, right? He said, "Well, is Joey here now?" Right? And he says, "One thing I can promise you," he said, "is that Joey was never coming back here again. That he wasn't going to have that in his house." As a matter of fact, when I told Michael about what Joey did to me in the kitchen here recently, he said, "Well, call the cops." That's what he told me, right? And then Joseph came back to my room and told me, if I don't stop I better stop hearing my name in your room. Well, turn your spy camera down. Right? He said, "You better stop trying to expose me in your room, or I'll do the same thing I did to you in the kitchen the other day." That's what he told me just yesterday. So when they had me homeless, I had to do a lot of walking, you know, while they pass by me laughing and getting their dicks hard in their stolen vehicles, right? And I hurt myself from all the walking that I did. There's something wrong with my back and my right leg. And when Joey threw me on the kitchen floor, like I didn't feel nothing at first, but later on that night, I got up to go to the kitchen and I couldn't even get out of the bed. My leg hasn't locked up in like 2 or 3 years, but it completely locked up on me, and I've been having severe back pain and this pain that's going through my right leg ever since he did that. And he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop till he's dead. He's too jealous and been too obsessed for too long. And plus, like I said, he's in constant fear of being scapegoated by his dad, and he is always doing whatever his dad needs him to do for that fix of his, and also so that he's not scapegoated. He couldn't even him being scapegoated for one day is more for him to even think about. He couldn't even imagine it. This is why whatever his daddy tells him to do, he does it without question. If he tells him to come attack me, he comes attacks me. Without even, no question. Right?